Welcome back and welcome to my book expo and BookCon book haul. If you've watched my vlogs of these events, which if you haven't, I will leave them linked up here, you will know that I had 5 days of bookish wonderfulness and came away with quite a few books. This is how this is going to go. It's going to be quite long, so get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack. I'm going to talk about books in category order, and I will do my best to leave timestamps in the description box below. So if you just want to hear about the adult fiction books that I got at Book Expo, you can click to that time. I will do my best where publication dates are printed on the books to let you know publication dates, and most of these publication dates are going to be US publication dates because these were all US publishers that I got these books from. So UK publication dates might be different, or these books might not be coming out in the UK at all. So that's how this is going to go. I'm starting with middle grade books. I need a drink already. I'm starting with middle grade books because I got quite a few of these, and I feel like I haven't read an awful lot of middle grade recently. I read more obviously when I was teaching because that's the age I was teaching, so I was reading stuff with them and for them and because of them, and so I was quite happy to have picked up the middle grade books that I picked up. So let's start. So this one is going to be coming out in October, and this is from Little Brown. This is A Tale of Magic by Chris Colfer. You will know Chris Colfer as an actor from Glee. He had a previous magical series, but this is a new magical series, and I was very happy to get this one, and they also gave me a matching lanyard. It's quite chunky for a middle grade book, and I'm quite excited about it. It says, "Welcome to Madame Weatherby's Academy of Magic, where things are not all what they seem." So I like the name, and it sounds a little bit Harry Potter-esque, and you can see the kind of castle there as well, a little bit Harry Potter-esque. But I read up on this before I went and got it, and I knew I wanted to get it, so I'm excited it's the start of a new series as well. Then one that I got a signed copy of that is definitely on the shorter side, and this again is out. This one is published on 15th of October here in the US by Scholastic, and it is Dog and the Detective in Graveyard Treasure, which is by Tim Tingle, and I met the author and he was very funny, and the tagline for this one is, "Timmy loves reading stories about great detectives, and soon he begins to spy mysteries all around his small Oklahoma town." So this one sounds good. Like I say, it's definitely on the shorter side, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Then another one from Little Brown. This one is coming out in January 2020, and the tag on the front of this one says, "Kindness starts from within." This one I want to read now. Most of these books I'm like, oh, want to read them. So this is Wonder meets 3 Times Lucky in a story of empowerment as a young woman decides to help solve the mystery of multiple suspicious deaths in her group home. And it's called Sunnyside Plaza by Scott Simon. Like I say, it's coming out in January, but something that tells me that it's Wonder meets and has the tag "Kindness starts from within." Yes, I am all over this one. I'm looking forward to reading it. And then one that is the second book in the series, but is already out, and one that I definitely want to read the first book in the series of. I'm going to see if my library has it, and that is Sam Wu is Not Afraid of Sharks by Katie and Kevin Tang. And this one is a husband and wife team. They just had a very cute baby, and you might remember me reading and reviewing Catherine Webber's book, which had the beautiful sprayed edges, and so this is her writing middle grade with her husband, and this is the second book in the series. Let me see if it tells me what the first book in the series is called, but the illustrations in this one just look beautiful. No, it's not telling me what the first one is, but it's another Sam Wu book. So I was very excited that they had copies of this one. Then back to Little Brown, I got these two together, and I think these are both October. Yeah, these are both October publications. So we have Bouncing Back by Scott Ostler. Like I say, this is Little Brown being published in October. Perfect for fans of Mike Lupica and Tim Green. Bouncing Back brings readers onto the wheelchair basketball court in a story brimming with heart, humour and thrilling sports action. So I've not read anything featuring wheelchair basketball, so I am ready to read this one. And then I have to admit that I picked this one up because of the cover, because the character on the cover is wearing trousers like mine. And this one is also out in October, and it is The Fresh New Face of Griselda by Jennifer Torres, a moving coming-of-age novel about one girl's struggles to find hope in family and friends after her parents lose their home. So this one sounds very, very good. And I like the cover, it matches my outfit today as well. Then one that I picked up again kind of because of the cover, and this is from National Geographic Kids, and this comes out on the 22nd of October, and that is Zeus the Mighty, The Quest for the Golden Fleece by Crispin Boyer. And this one says, leap into the world of ancient Greece as you've never imagined it before in this brand new epic adventure series from National Geographic Kids. And I really couldn't resist the cover of this one. I was walking past and I was drawn to it. So looking forward to October publication for that one. And then one that is unfortunately the third book in the series. So again, I'm going to see if my library has the other books in the series. This one is a September release and is book 3 of the popular Jumbies series. So this is The Jumble God's Revenge by Tracy Baptiste. Kareen must use her emerging superpowers to battle the god Hurricane, who would destroy her island home, and we can kind of see that represented here on the cover. I haven't read too much into it because if I'm going to read the first 2 in the series, I'm going to need to read those first, so I don't want to be spoiled. But I did actually get to meet this author and get it signed and get a bookmark, so I'm going to put a hold on the other 2 from my library so I can catch up. And then one from Simon and Schuster, which is coming out in September, and this is Charlie Thorne and the Last Equation, and the cover really doesn't give a whole lot away. This one is by Stuart Gibbs, and it says Charlie Thorne is a genius, Charlie Thorne is a thief, Charlie Thorne isn't old enough to drive, and now it's up to her to save the world. I mean, I was kind of sold on that as well. So this one comes out in September. It's another quite chunky read, but I'm looking forward to diving in. And then one which I had a ticket to get this signed copy of, so I was able to actually go and meet this author and get her to sign this, and I also got a signed print, which was very cool. And this one is coming out in October as well, from Balsa and Bray, which is HarperCollins Children's, and this one is Dear Sweet Pea by Julie Murphy, in case you can't tell from that picture on the cover. The first middle grade novel from Julie Murphy. It's a body positive story, perfect for all readers. And I did start flicking through this one because after I had my signing for this one, I was in line for signing for another one. So I opened it up and had a little look through and started reading it. So yeah, this one's going to be on my TBR very soon, if not this month. Very excited to start reading this one. So that is the middle grade books that I got. Moving on to young adult novels. And again, I'm not going in date order. I've just got my pile of young adult novels. This was the biggest pile that I had, not on purpose. So the first one of these is from Little Brown and is coming out in July, and this is Queen of Ruin by Tracy Banghart, which is the sequel to, is it Grace and Fury. It's down here, which I got in an owl crate like this time last year and read and really enjoyed. So I was very excited to have the sequel to this one. And so because this is a July release, I think I will be reading it sooner rather than later. So yeah, looking forward to this one. I'm not going to tell you what it's about because you might not have read the first in the series. Then the book that I was probably most excited to get, that I knew I was going to get, well, going to try and get before going to Book Expo, because I spoke to this author last year at BookCon and they told me about their book and their publication deal, and then I saw on Instagram that they were going to be at Book Expo signing proof copies of it, and this is out on February the 4th next year, and this is The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper, and it's just, I mean, this is just a proof cover, but it's like an awesome double cover, and it's got so much praise so far, so much awesome stuff going on in this smart, heartwarming YA debut, perfect for fans of Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. Two teen boys find love when their lives are uprooted for their parents' involvement in a NASA mission to Mars. I mean, what more do you need to find out? So yeah, this one is out February next year. Very excited to have this. I'm very excited to meet him and to get it signed. And yeah, this one was the one that I was aiming to get. So I was very, very happy that I was like 5th in line to get this one. Awesome. Then one which has actually just come out. So this, no, I'm thinking of something else. This is out August 2019. What else am I thinking of? I think there's something that looks like this that has just come out. So this is Here There Are Monsters. This comes out from Source Books, and this comes out, it comes out 8/6, and I read it as 8th of June, but that's August the 6th. I still get confused with the whole backwards dates here. And the tagline on this one is, "They took my sister, I'll take her back." And it's described as the Blair Witch Project meets imaginary girls in this story of sisterhood turned toxic, imaginary monsters brought to life, and secrets that won't stay buried. And just how haunting is that cover? I did get drawn to it because of the cover, and then the person at Source was like, "This is what this is about." I was like, "Yep, you've sold me. You have sold me." Okay, then we have, this one is coming out in September, and this one is called The Truth Is by, where's my author? Oh my goodness, where is the author on this one? Oh, here we are. Nonika Ramos. A powerful exploration of love, identity, and self-worth through the eyes of a fierce, questioning Puerto Rican teen. And I just love the sound of this one. It sounds like everything I would like to read, and yes, so that one's coming out September. Then we have coming out September the 3rd from Source Books as well. We Are Lost and Found by Helen Dunbar. I like the cover of this one. A poignant, heartbreaking and uplifting story in the tradition of The Perks of Being a Wallflower, about 3 friends coming of age in the early 1980s as they struggle to forge their own paths in the face of fear of the unknown. I love a coming of age story. I'm looking forward to reading this one. Then we have coming out on August 27th from Dutton, we have My Life as an Ice Cream Sandwich by E.B. Zaboy. This one was a total, I love this author. I'm going to pick this up. I don't know anything about it, but I love the cover. I really love the cover as well. So summer 1984, Ebony Grace Northfleet flies from Huntsville, Alabama to Harlem, where she'll stay with her father while her mother deals with the trouble that's arisen in Ebony Grace's grandfather. So that's the start of that one. I just love this author, so I was always going to pick this one out. Like I say, 27th of August. I can read the date on this one. Then another one where I got to meet the author, and this one again is, I believe, a spin-off from another novel rather than a sequel to another novel, so I feel like I might need to pick the other novel up first. And this one is out in October 2019, and this is Light It Up by Kekla Magoom. A girl walks home from school. She's tall for her age. She's wearing her winter coat. Her headphones are in. She's hurrying. She never makes it home. And then the other book is How It Went Down, and I think that's the one that's already out, and this is a spin-off of. So I think I'm going to hunt that one down and then read more into this one. But I've got until October to do that, so that's all good. Then one that I was very excited to see they were doing an art drop of. This one is from Epic Reads and comes out in September the 10th to be precise, and this is Unpregnant by Jenny Hendricks and Ted Kaplan. She never thought she'd want to fail a test until now, and this one just sounds good. This is another one that I did have a start having a flick through while I was in line for something else after getting this one, so already had a little look at this one. Then a sampler that I got that I want to highlight. I know it's just a sampler, but this one is out March 2020. So I think this one wins the award for the furthest publication date if we're counting samplers. If not, it would be The Gravity of Us. So this is a sampler or a chapter sampler of Heavenfall by Sarah Holland. Sarah Holland wrote Everless and Evermore. And this one says, welcome to the inn at Havenfall, a lush manor that conceals a shocking secret, a secret one girl will do anything to protect. And what drew me to this one was not only the fact that Sarah Holland is lovely, but also the fact that this one is set in Colorado. So I was excited to jump in and get this one, and I did get to meet and chat with her again, which was lovely. The last time I saw her was in London, which is odd. There was a couple of authors there that I'd seen before and then in London, and then I ended up seeing them there, which is a bit odd. But anyway, this is Heavenfall, chapter sampler, coming out March 2020. Then I got the movie tie-in copy of The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. She was supposed to be doing a signing, but unfortunately it got cancelled due to timing conflicts or something. But they gave us a copy of the movie tie-in of The Sun Is Also a Star, which has pictures from the movie in. It's quite cool because I do love this book, even if I didn't love the movie. And I didn't have my own copy of it because I got my copy from the library and then downloaded the audiobook. So having a physical copy of it is good because I would definitely like to read it again just because it's wonderful. And I'm trying to find one of the awesome parts in it where there's illustrations and stuff. But I do have a book versus movie video for this one on my channel if you would like to check it out, because I did feel a little bit let down by the movie. Then on the Saturday of BookCon, so BookCon day one, if you've seen my vlog footage, you'll have seen this, but I went to an author breakfast, which was hosted by Simon Teen, Riveted Simon Teen, and they gave us a goodie bag of books to take away from that. I gave some of them to the lovely Jess from Enchanted Fandom, who got me the ticket for the event, and then I kept some of them for myself. We basically kind of split it down the middle. So one that I was very excited to hear about and didn't know anything about before this breakfast was this one, which is coming out in September 24th to be precise. And this is Slay by Brittany Morris. And we were able to chat to Brittany. All the authors came around to the tables and had 8 minutes with each table. And so she described this one as like if Wakanda was a virtual reality video game. And I was like, yes, I'm here for this. And the fact that it has this amazing looking character on the front of it as well. She completely sold me on it, so I will be reading this one again sooner rather than later, but this one comes out from Simon Pulse on the 24th of September here in the US. And then because the movie of this one has just wrapped, they gave us a copy of P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. In case you didn't know, they made a movie of the second book as well. So To All the Boys I Loved Before is on Netflix and is amazing. And I have a book versus movie video talking about it, which you can go away and watch if you want to. But the second one, the filming of it has just wrapped. So it doesn't have a release date or anything yet, but they gave us a copy of this. And I believe it is signed, just is, by Jenny Han. It was amazing to meet her. And I love this series, so it's nice to have a copy of that one too. And then another finished copy that we got and got to meet the author of, and it is signed as well, is from Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. And she is the author of Saints and Misfits. I immediately went away and borrowed the audiobook of Saints and Misfits from my library so I could read it. And this one looks and sounds amazing, and it is already out. It is out now. So I'm looking forward to diving into this one. I might get to it during the readathon at the end of this month. Who knows? And then another finished copy they gave us was a copy of There's Something About Sweetie by Sandy Menon, which is also signed. And I have a video talking and reviewing this one, talking about and reviewing this one with some vlog footage of Sandia's publication day celebrations here in Denver at Tattered Cover, and then the next week I was at BookCon meeting her, which was cool. And then, as well as that finished copy, we got a sampler of Curses and Kisses, which is a new Starcross series by Sandia Menon, which is coming February 2020. So I believe this one is a take on Beauty and the Beast. Will the princess save the beast? And this seems to also be set in Colorado, and it starts with Once Upon a Time. So I'm excited to have this. I'm excited to get stuck in. Hopefully some of these chapter samplers that I have, I'll be able to dig into and get excited about in between other reads. So that is all the young adult novels I got at Book Expo and BookCon. So we are moving on. Right, let's move on to the adult titles, and there are another couple of finished copies that I got in here as well. So first of all, a couple which were published as of this being uploaded last week. These were published on the 11th of June here in the US. So first one is from Turner, and this is Tiny by Kim Hooper, and this one is on my June TBR. By the time you see this, I may have already read it because I'm excited to get to it. That cover is absolutely stunning. And this says, Tiny follows the harrowing journeys of Nate, Annie and Josh, three people unwillingly tied together by tragedy. But I was assured by the publicist that it is not all doom and gloom and there is a happy ending. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. And I believe it might not still be happening. There was a giveaway competition on the author's Instagram. So go and check and see if it's still happening. It might be. Just a heads up on that one. And then we have Mrs. Everything by Jennifer Weiner. I did already have a proof copy of this one and had pre-ordered the audiobook. So definitely by the time you watch this, I will have read this one. But I was able to meet her and get a signed copy of this one, and also go to a panel with her and listen to her talk about it. And it was just so much fun. It was so great to meet her. I've been such a fan of hers for so long. And isn't this cover stunning? And this is just the proof copy. Amazing. But this is a chunky read. There's like 450 pages in this, so it's a decent length of audiobook, let me tell you. Then I have one that I'm going to be buddy reading with Bethany over at Beautifully Bookish Bethany. This one comes out in September and is No Judgments by Meg Cabot. And you might know this one, this author from having written The Princess Diaries, and this is an adult fiction novel, and the tagline is "The choices we make decide our fate." So it looks like it might be a little bit magical. It says the storm of the century is about to hit Little Bridge Isle, Florida, and it's sending waves crashing through Sabrina Bree Beckham's love life. Sounds good. Sounds so me. And then an author that I actually got to meet last year at BookCon, I got to meet again this year, and that is Jasmine Guillory. I got a signed copy, a signed finished copy of her latest, The Proposal, which is a spin-off from The Wedding Date. So this does involve 2 characters from The Wedding Date, and I got to meet her and she signed it for me. So that is excellent. Like I say, that one is already out. And then from Simon & Schuster, they were really hyping this book up, so I decided to go and get myself a copy. This one goes on sale on the 8th of October, and this one is called Marley. And this is a reimagining of Charles Dickens' classic A Christmas Carol in a darkly entertaining and moving exploration of the twisted relationship between Ebenezer Scrooge and Jacob Marley. And I just think this sounds so interesting. I do love Christmas Carol. I mean, I like the Muppets version of Christmas Carol, but I'm excited to hear how the reimagining is done and see how it takes place. And I like the simplicity of this cover. I wonder if the finished copy is going to have a similar chain-like cover. And then this one was kind of handed to me. This one is from Hogarth, which is Penguin Random House, and is out in August. And this is What Red Was, a novel by Rosie Price. A startling and sophisticated novel of modern love, sexual violence, and toxic inheritance from a brilliant new voice. It definitely sounds up my street, and so I'm glad that it was handed to me. Then I found a collection of short stories, and this is on sale September 15th. And this is from University of Georgia Press. They had a lot of really interesting looking books that were a bit kind of different from the norm, which, you know, I like to read a nice variety. So this is called Once Removed, and this is a collection of short stories by Colette Sartor. And this says the women in the linked short story collection, Once Removed, carry the burdens imposed in the name of intimacy, the secrets kept, the lies told, the disputes initiated, as well as the joy that can still manage to triumph. And so I was very intrigued by this one, so I picked it up. Then we have one that's set in Greenwich Village, which I'm excited about. And this one comes out in August and is The Dearly Beloved, a novel by Cara Wall. And this one is coming out from Simon & Schuster. Charles and Lily, James and Nan, they met in Greenwich Village in 1963 when Charles and James are jointly hired to steward the historic Third Presbyterian Church through turbulent times. Their personal differences, however, threaten to tear them apart. And I just think this sounds really intriguing. And look at that cover. Even the proof cover's got some foil on it. We know that foil is expensive, so they must be really pushing this one. And then another one that the cover almost matches. I'll hold them up next to each other in a second. But this one is coming out from HarperCollins. Which branch of HarperCollins is this? This one's coming out in September and is a chunky novel. And this one is After the Flood by Cassandra Montag. And this is coming to the screen. There we go. So it's an unforgettable, innovative and riveting epic saga with the literary force and evocative imagination of Station 11, Zone 1 and The Road that signals the arrival of an extraordinary new talent. That's all we're getting to know about it, but apparently it's already been picked up. Oh, the searing story of a mother's terrifying quest to find her missing daughter in a post-apocalyptic world, haunting and shocking. So yeah, but these two were next to each other on my pile and they look so similar with their gold squiggles. But yes, this one's going to be made into a film, so very exciting. And that is the end of my adult fiction novels. We shall move on to a little bit of non-fiction and a little bit of poetry. So non-fiction, if you have watched my vlog, you will have seen me meet this author, and it wasn't publicised that this author was going to be there, and they were just doing an in-booth giveaway and signing, so I was very excited to meet her. And this is There Still Sex in the City by Candace Bushnell. Obviously, Candace Bushnell wrote the massively successful Sex and the City series, amongst other things. I really enjoyed her book Killing Monica that came out a few years ago. And this one, it says 20 years after her sharp seminal debut, Sex and the City reshaped the landscape of pop culture and dating. This fly on the wall look at mating rituals of the Manhattan elite. The trailblazing Candace Bushnell returns with a new book about the wilds and lows of sex and dating after 50. So this sounds fabulous. This is coming out on the 6th of August. I'm going to be reading it ASAP. And it was just amazing to meet her. And this is probably one of the other books that I am most excited to have that I didn't know that I was going to have. So yes, exciting. Then one which is already out. So this is actually a finished copy, and I've seen a couple of people talking about this one on Instagram, and we got a cool tote bag that went with this, which I don't think I have in the vlog, but this is the Jane Austen diet, Austen's secrets to food, health and incandescent happiness. And this is so it's by Jane Austen and Brian Kowalski. What can Jane Austen teach us about health? Prepare to have your bonnet blown. So this just looks really cute and really funny. Like, got gout, question mark. So I'm looking forward to having a bit of a fiction break with this one and spreading a little bit of non-fiction and comedy into my reading. Then this one, I'll admit, was a bit of a cover pick. This one is coming September 2019 from Scribner, and this is Our Dogs, Ourselves, The Story of a Singular Bond by Alexandra Horowitz. And this one is literally what it says on the tin. Like, it's about dogs and the bond, and she's written other books about dogs, but when I saw this cover I was like, oh, a little bit of non-fiction, different for me. So I might sort of dive in and out of this one because it looks like one that you can pick up and put down. It's not really chronological, so yes. Then this one I was persuaded by Bethany to pick up. I saw it in an Instagram haul of hers, and then I went back to Book Expo the next day and they had a copy, so I decided to pick it up because she made it sound so amazing. And this one is coming out in September as well from Source Books, and this is Motherhood So White, a memoir, love a memoir, of race, gender and parenting in America. And this has here in America, mother equals white. And so this looks like it's going to be really interesting, and like I say, she convinced me to pick it up, so I got that one. Then another couple of non-fiction reads. These ones I picked up from the university press stand, so I think they might all be Cornell University Press. Oh no, I've got a University of Georgia press there. So from Cornell, we have 100 Autobiographies, a memoir by David Lehman, and this just sounds, it sounds like a good title, and is kind of snippets of things and kind of essays and a bit of poetry in there, and again looks like something that would be interesting to jump into as a break from fiction. And this one comes out October 15th here in the US, and yeah, it just looks like an interesting cover. And then this one again kind of is also coming out October 15th from Cornell University Press. This is Solid State, the story of Abbey Road and the end of the Beatles. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. A little bit of musical interlude. And then another one that has memoir in the title. This is University of Georgia Press, coming out September 1st. And this is Coming of Age in a Hardscrabble World, a memoir anthology edited by Nancy Atwood and Roger Atwood. So this one sounds really interesting as well. Non-fiction storytelling is at its best in this anthology of excerpts from memoirs by 30 authors, some eminent, some well less known, who grew up tough and talented in working class America. It sounds fabulous. So I'm happy that I picked that one up as well. And then a couple of poetry books, the first of which was also at the University of Georgia stand. This is called Valuing, and it's by Christopher Condrich, and is part of the National Poetry Series. And so I thought, a little bit of poetry. I would have started reading it then and there, but when I read poetry, I like to have my tabs to mark out things that I want to go back to, and so that's why I didn't start reading this one. And then another book of poetry that I actually got signed. I got to meet this author, and I do have their new, I think it's a novel, coming to me in the mail as well, because they were supposed to have them there, but they did not. So this is from Tin House Books, and this is my signed copy. It's in beautiful silver Sharpie, and this one is There Are More Beautiful Things Than Beyonce by Morgan Parker. If you saw my vlog, you'll have seen me meeting Morgan, and she signed it saying Katrina is more beautiful than Beyonce, which I appreciated at the end of a long day at Book Expo. No, it was BookCon. It was Sunday at BookCon. It all blurs together. So yes, that's the end of my non-fiction and poetry. So now we're moving on to graphic novels, and then we're done. Okay, before I dive right into graphic novels, I got two picture books, both of which are proof copies, which is quite cool. This one is coming out from Source Books in January 2020, and it's called Bedtime for Sweet Creatures, and I just think that the illustrations in this one are absolutely beautiful. And I like a picture book, you know, I like a picture book, so I picked this one up. And then I actually got a signed copy of this one, and this one is coming out on September 24th, and it is Monkey See, Zebra Do, a zoo party, and I did get it signed, which is very cool. And it says, most parties have one host who runs the whole show, but we animals all want attention, you know. So an owl said we should take turns playing host and sharing the things that we like to do most. So I like the message of this book, so yes. Okay, graphic novels. This one is a graphic memoir, and this is a sampler, and it just says coming summer 2019. So this is a sampler of it, but very cool, because this is a graphic memoir from George Takei called They Called Us Enemy, and this is a preview sampler, and I got to meet him and have it signed, which is very cool. And it's going to be in black and white, so the sampler is actually the black and white that it's going to be, so that's quite cool. Then I have a couple of middle grade graphic novels. This one is coming out from Kaboom on the 10th of September. It's really hard to read dates backwards, and this is R.L. Stine, Just Beyond the Scare School. R.L. Stine, Goosebumps, Point Horror. Had to pick this one up. Then this one is another middle grade one, coming out October the 1st. There we go. From Scholastic, and this is Sonny Rolls the Dice, Too Cool for School, or The Least Groovy Girl in the Grade. And this one looks lovely, and it is full colour and just looks fabulous. Then another Meg Cabot novel. This one is also a middle grade graphic novel coming out on the 29th of October, and this is part of the DC graphic novel releases that are all kind of new takes on DC characters written by familiar authors. So I got a couple of these and a cool tote bag to go with them, and so this one is Black Canary Ignite by Meg Cabot, and I think this is a whole proof copy. Again, there's some of the illustration for you, and yep, she signed it and was lovely. Just generally, I kept seeming to go to things that Meg Cabot was signing or hosting. And then I got a signing ticket for this one. This one comes out on the 3rd of September and is a young adult graphic novel. And this one is Harley Quinn, Breaking Glass, by Mariko Tamaki, and I heard her speak at a panel and I was very excited about the fact that I then had a signing ticket for her to go and get this signed, and we got a poster with it as well, so that was very cool. And this looks really good, and a lot of people there were very excited about it, and there's a quick sneak peek of the artwork for that one. Then one from Quirk Books, which is coming out on July 30th. So this one is going to be on my TBR very soon. However, this one looks super cute, and so I have already had a bit of a flick through it. They gave me a pin that matches this one too, and she did the author did a very cute little drawing inside as she signed it, and this is called We Are Here Forever by Michelle Gish, and it says it's the most adorable apocalypse ever. And how cute are these characters here? And look at this little bookish character here, and there's a little sneak peek of the artwork inside. Yes, so I'm looking forward to this one coming from Quirk. And also I like the fact that it's like landscape. It's a bit different. It won't fit nicely on the shelf, but it's a bit different. It stands out. Then I have a young adult graphic novel sampler. This one is coming out in August, and this one is Pumpkinheads, a graphic novel from Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks, and they had a load of promotional stuff for this one, and she was signing samplers and posters, so I got my copy of this one signed, and it just looks really cool generally. I think I got the poster signed or the print signed. Oh no, they signed the back of it. There we go. I can remember what I got signed. They had gold and silver pen. It's very cool. You'll see me meet them in my vlog footage. Then another one that I got at Kaboom. This one I believe is already out, and this one is called Hotel Dare, and I was attracted to the cover. It says open the door, adventure awaits. So excited to read this one. And then another young adult graphic novel that I know a lot of people have been very excited about, so when I saw a copy of it there, I was like, yes, let's get it. It is the graphic novel of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's all I really need to say about that one. Then this one kind of ties in a bit with the fact that I got the middle grade novel that's about wheelchair basketball. I then saw this one that was about basketball, and it is the Avant-Gardes volume 1. I like the play on words. Again, this one is already out from Kaboom, and is looks like the illustrations in like your Lumberjanes or your Giant Days. Looks very cool. Is that the page I already showed you? Yeah, so looking forward to picking that one. And then speaking of Lumberjanes, they had a Lumberjanes. Now, I'm not sure if this fits into the series or if this is a special standalone. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comments. But this one is Lumberjanes, The Infernal Compass, and looks like they're on some kind of scout camping type thing. There's a lot of green and khaki in there. And again, this is a finished copy. Very cool. And then one that I got signed, this is my final proof copy, my final graphic novel proof copy. I think we're nearly at the end now. And this one is coming out September 2019, and is a young adult graphic novel called Stage Dreams, and it's a cowboy graphic novel, which is very cool. The New Mexico Territory, 1861. Young Grace, a trans runaway, has headed west, fleeing her Georgia home and conscription into the Confederate Army, but her coach ride to California makes an unplanned stop when notorious outlaw the Ghost Hawk swoops in, shaking down its passengers and stealing away with Grace. So this sounds very exciting, and yeah, I did get to meet the author, and I really like the illustrations as well. I like all the muted colours and the fact that it ties in with the time frame. So I think we're done. I think I've covered all the books. I'm not going to show you any of the merch and the tote bags and things like that I got, because I've mentioned a couple of pins and posters that I got along the way, and I didn't get a whole lot of merch this year actually. I feel like I got a lot more bits and pieces last year, but I'm fine with that. It was easier to pack just all books and, you know, a few hundred tote bags than it was to pack books and pins and bookmarks and other promotional items. So yes, do let me know in the comments if you've made it this far. Just let me know if you've made it this far. If you've made it to the end of this video, just leave me a comment and let me know, please do. That's all the books that I got. I've got some reading ahead of me to do. You can see why my June TBR was so small in a way, even though it ended up being not amazingly small. I don't know. I will be back with another video soon, so make sure you are subscribed so that that lands in your subscription feed. I believe I have an unboxing coming up and a couple of other exciting things for you, so you're not going to want to miss those. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you with that next video. Bye.